Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another video about Bruce Springsteen. This guy is just so prolific. Who would have thought at the beginning of 2025 that in the year 2025 you would get not only another run of amazing E Street Band shows in Europe, where he's performing unlike any other 70-something rock star you've ever seen in your life, as well as seven unreleased records that we've never heard before. And now, probably the holy grail for Springsteen fans, we're getting, yet this year in October, we're getting a Springsteen box set of Nebraska, which includes Electric Nebraska, which has never been bootlegged. It's just been something people have wanted forever. Max Weinberg has talked about how this Electric Nebraska exists. Back in April, when Springsteen was doing interviews to promote the Lost Tracks or Lost Albums box set, he seemed confused about any kind of Electric Nebraska, saying at first it didn't exist. And then he corrected himself by calling the Rolling Stone interviewer later when the publication was about to go to press with it, and said that indeed there was an Electric Nebraska, but it wasn't the full album, and he seemed like he was kind of dismissing it. Well, it appears he has come around quite a bit. If you watch the trailer video, which got released today, as well as the track listing and a first peek at what this Nebraska 1982 box set contains. Holy crap. Now, if you watched sorry, I'm battling a bit of a cough here. If you watched my Springsteen videos that I did on the Lost Tracks, talked about Nebraska before, you know that I was probably not super excited about an Electric Nebraska, kind of feeling like Springsteen did his best with Nebraska, right? This is the record. This is the one that got me into Springsteen. I sometimes think if Nebraska didn't exist, I would be nowhere near the Springsteen fan I am now. I would probably be more of a casual fan. I don't know. I mean, he's released so many good records, and there's such a back catalog of other albums that eventually probably would have opened up for me. But I am very much a fan of this Bruce Springsteen, and the Bruce Springsteen that made the 7 lost albums, to be honest. The more introspective Bruce Springsteen. But of course, I also love what the E Street Band can do. So this is just, even the little trailer for this, which I'll include a link to at the end of my video here, or in the description, just provides such a window into this thing. And already I am just beyond impressed, because these are crazy intense versions of these songs. Atlantic City, you just get a brief kind of glimpse into it. And it sounds kind of what you would expect it to. But when he plays a song like Open All Night, or especially Downbound Train, which wasn't on Nebraska, it ended up being on Born in the USA, but it was always a version that was part of the Nebraska sessions. When you hear the Electric Nebraska version of this, it is with an intensity that I'm hard pressed to think of other Springsteen songs that are that fast and that intense. And that's only going off of 10 seconds of it. And released as well today was a full version you can get on streaming services of the 1982 Electric Nebraska version of Born in the USA. That is a game changer too. I mean, that's with just Gary Talent on bass, Max Weinberg on drums, and Springsteen. Now, it doesn't have the commercial polish and the drumming and everything that made the Born in the USA song a huge hit, but what it does have is just a rawness to it, and a feel of, you get the feel of the song more. I don't think anybody would mistake that song for being a patriotic song about America at all if you heard that. I don't think Ronald Reagan would have touted Bruce Springsteen as a man of the people and all this stuff, and used Born in the USA at his campaign rallies, had it been the version that we're hearing now. So incredibly excited about this. It isn't the full Nebraska record, missing a few songs, but instead of those songs, you get 6 songs off Nebraska, but you also get 3 other songs that ended up on Born in the USA, like Born in the USA, like Downbound Train. And then the other part of this is demos of, or not even demos, I guess Nebraska, the album we know is Nebraska, the one behind me is essentially demos, right? He released a demo tape as a record. The other album is the outtakes, is the other songs that he tried for Nebraska, but ultimately decided not to release. So songs like Child Bride, the original recording of Downbound Train, original Born in the USA. And it's like a dream come true. And along with this, you get a 2025 remaster of the record. No indication like who did that or anything yet. And you get a live performance of Springsteen, minimally accompanied by, looks like a bass player and a drummer. Or no, bass player and like a multi-instrumentalist that plays cello and I think maybe keyboards. It's hard to tell. You have to really zoom in on the type in the video at about, if you're a nerd, you want to nerd out on this, about 1 minute and 10 seconds into the video, you can kind of see the credits of the performance. But I'm pleased that it's not this all-star thing, because there were rumors that he played and Jason Isbell and other people guested on it, which would have been cool, but there's such an intimacy to Nebraska. I think it'd just be a real treat just to see Springsteen approach it now in 2025 as a live document. And so you get a Blu-ray of that, as well as the audio, which I think is really nice. So often it seems like, Blu-rays or DVDs get thrown in as extra content, but then you don't actually have the files, especially on vinyl. It feels like vinyl gets cheated out of that a lot of time. That's not the case here. So it's 4 LPs, the remastered album, the Electric Nebraska, the demos or the outtakes from Nebraska, and then a final 4th disc of the performance of Nebraska in 2025 with Springsteen and a couple other people. Then you also get the Blu-ray that has that performance if you want to watch it. So just crazy, intense, exciting time. It's almost like hard to fathom that he just released 7 unreleased records and then releases this holy grail. But the guy's tired of waiting, I think. He's just got this material. He's in his 70s. He's like, get it out there. And he knows he has a fan base that is super excited by it. Hard to imagine how anybody wouldn't be, this a Springsteen fan, wouldn't be excited about this one. I know some people, the 90s and 2000s Springsteen, the more solo, less E Street Band part of him, side of him isn't like necessarily their thing. So this should be everybody's thing, because it's got this unbelievable, my favorite Bruce Springsteen album, Nebraska, but it's got the E Street Band on it doing their take of it, or at least parts of them. I think all of them are on it in one song or another. And then the demos, and then this new live documented of it as well. Just, the other thing that I find really interesting is these are like the Electric Nebraska little tastes we've had. They're kind of like rockabilly, sort of like upbeat, more energetic kind of versions than maybe we found on Born in the USA, more poppy. And certainly, obviously way different than the solo acoustic versions that we had on the actual album Nebraska. But in light of what came out as part of the 7 unreleased records as the lost albums, an album like this should probably make a whole lot of sense, because this is by himself. And he's doing kind of rockabilly, right? He's doing kind of a rockabilly. A lot of these songs, versions of new songs that he wrote after he recorded Nebraska, after he recorded Electric Nebraska, after Nebraska's release. He still, even though half of this album, Born in the USA, was in the can, he still wasn't ready to release it. He still wanted to kind of hang on to what he had with Nebraska, and he tries it with a whole bunch of new songs for LA Garage Sessions, and a lot of them are kind of like a little bit more rocked out, rockabilly, a little bit more produced compared to Nebraska for sure. And I just think, hearing all of this and putting it all in context should be just absolutely fascinating, as well as a movie that's coming out. The release date on the box set is October 17th. The movie comes out October 24th. And just really, really learning the story that led up to this album, which I'm warming up to. I always had such a problem with this album, mostly because I was 12 years old when it came out and it was absolutely everywhere, and I didn't really like the image of Dancing in the Dark. I've talked about this before. I've warmed up to it. I've actually played this album a lot this summer, and it sounded really good. So I've kind of come around to it, but I'm real curious how all of this gets put into perspective, and all these experiments he did essentially to get to this album and finally release it. And from what I've heard, what I've read, he's still not satisfied with this record. He feels like his vision was compromised a little bit. It didn't quite do what he wanted to do. So fascinating time to be a Springsteen fan, and who knows if we'll ever get, a big box set of all the unreleased outtakes from Born in the USA. My guess is no, that he's focusing on Nebraska, this Nebraska box set and the LA garage sessions, and that maybe we'll get those tracks as part of tracks 3. I don't know. I have no idea. That's just my hunch. But man, what an exciting time. I can't wait to dive into this more. Fortunately, we only have to wait like a month and like 5 weeks, 5.5 weeks. So it'll be here before we know it, which is incredibly good news, as most of us are still getting acquainted with tracks 2 and all the gems, both the records and the songs that are in that. So I'm going to review these. Obviously, I'm going to talk about them as this box set gets released. I said them, I guess them multi-disc, but it's one thing. It's one Nebraska box set. So tell me what you think about this. I mean, this is like the holy grail, right? This is the thing that everybody's been waiting for. I'm hard pressed to think of anything that is this exciting, I think, for Bruce Springsteen fans. So let me know what you think. And boy, what a crazy time. Thanks.